Good evening, everybody. Welcome to VSL F1 here for round 8 of Season 1 here in Paul Ricard in France. I'm your commentator Owen Watt, and with me is Kyle.
Hello everybody and welcome. No rain this week, so we should see a bit of a closer race, unlike last week in Canada.
Yes, and hopefully the 10 drivers today are gonna give us a good show. I think Tom is first on his lap, so we'll follow him round in his Toro Rosso. I think he's had a car change. He was Haas at the start of the season, if I recall. So yeah, he's changed cars. And as usual, Cliffy's went out on a harder compound. He's out in softs, so look out for that during the session. But so far, 4 or 5 now want to go on softs and the rest on ultras. So I guess the ultra times at the start are probably going to be more sort of banker laps. You're not going to see anything special in them, I don't think.
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously you do have the super softs here, whereas some tracks like Germany, you do have that tyre gap where the drivers will still try to qualify on the harder soft tyres. But yeah, it's interesting that, as you say, we've got sort of half and half split between the ultras and the softs, and no one running supers, which is surprising actually, because normally you get supers being run around here, so there's not much of a difference.
Well, I guess that can help strategy during the race, because I've done sort of races around here before where the soft tyre is, they just don't get into the temperature range. Maybe they want the supers for the end, make it a little bit more simple. But this is definitely one of them tracks where you're going to want to go absolutely nowhere near the ultras. So honestly, I think...
Yeah, it's an interesting one because obviously we've only got 10 runners tonight, so the pack is going to be a lot more closer in terms of lap times compared to if you had, say, 15 runners. So anyone that does start, say, down in ninth, who may have been starting down in, say, 13th, 14th, they're going to be quite a lot closer to the front. And as we see with the softs as well being used, is that, like you said, you can go for the super soft at the end, whereas in a race where you've got between 15 and 20 drivers, where you want to be up the front because you don't want to be caught up in first lap incidents, etc., you're going to want to start on the ultra softs. It's still possible to do a one stop from ultras to softs, but you've got to manage tyre wear quite a lot, which does make the strategy overall that bit slower. But as we see a Salva cutting across there, that's Cliffy actually.
Oh dear. He's doing it again, look. Well, that's one way to prepare a lap, I guess. He's, like I said, on the soft tyres, but Tom, he got his lap. Hamilton is disallowed on the ultras. But Marklin has seemingly completely ignored everything, and he's actually done his lap on ultras then. So is he going for glory? Is he going for pole position? Because, yeah, he doesn't seem interested in the softs.
It's an okay lap time. I would expect to see guys go a fair bit faster than that, though. But expect to see guys in sort of the mid 29s, depending on, obviously, if you've got people like Bugatti, Cliffy, and then Hamilton as well, all running soft tyres, then I probably wouldn't see that lap time beaten. But we'll see what happens during the rest of the session.
Because we've now got 4 drivers, and I imagine we'll see when Tom's in the pits, he's going to change, I imagine, to a harder compound. So you're going to really not have that many people wanting to qualify on them tyres. So unless Marklin thinks he's got the race pace, I think he's making a rather critical, sort of fatal error here. He's in some real trouble if he does that and the rest of the field are on softs. Even super
But
softs, he's in a bit of trouble.
yeah, but the super softs, I could say, would last because it's a 20. I think it's a 27 lap race, isn't it? So
Yes.
so yeah, so you can take supers to about between lap 8, lap 10. You can take the softs the rest of the way. If you're on ultras, however, you're looking at around 5, 6, 7 at the very
Oh,
very latest before you get punctures. Um,
Blade just took off Lee there. Lee's on a lap, and Lee's just had to go right around the outside and off the track. So that might have ruined his lap. He might back off after that. I don't think Blade saw him, and he just ran him straight off. So
yeah,
imagine
just looking at the times compared, he's down on Marklin's time anyway in the middle sector. He is going to come through to complete the lap actually.
that's a second off. Just no
Yeah,
good.
so he was in. I think he was impeded in that last sector quite a bit then.
Yeah.
Just looking at the sector times.
Nope.
Yeah, he was a full second down on Marklin in that last sector, so clearly impeded by Blade on that lap.
Bugatti in the pits. He wants to go on to Super Zen later on. Now, obviously,
They
it
are,
also affects the start as well because if you're on, say, the supers compared to the softs, you're instantly going to have the tire advantage to maybe launch off the turn one. So that's
yeah,
also
it's
something
what
to think about.
yeah, what I was about to say is that the temperature factor as well about the three different tyres as well is that the softs you've got to put so much more energy into them on the formation lap. And you know, if you don't do that, then like you said, you're going to be so much slower off the start, especially when you've got three different compounds. You've got ultras as well versus the soft guys. They're really going to struggle off the start and in the first lap or two as well.
But yeah, it's not very common that you see all three tires using a quali session, so yeah, it'll definitely be interesting, like you said, see how that affects the start. But we've only got, I think, one person out there on the lap. I think Cliffy might have just started one, but Casper's certainly the furthest through so far in his Mercedes. And we'll see how he gets on. So Senki's only 2 tenths off now on them softs, so I wonder if Marklin is he's going out on another set of ultras. I wonder just if he can even hold on to that pole on ultras, because it isn't looking very promising from here. You see Matt as well in the pits wants to change to the supers.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys opting for that softer compound now. We'll see if they can really bump themselves up because low Lakers for the 35-2. That was
Oh,
definitely not
Casper!
comfortable.
Just had a bit of a spin. He's got lost in one of the many variations of the track, and he's ruined his lap. So yeah, I think he had issues at the chicane as well, down the long back straight, and just a bit of a messy lap in general, I think, there for Casper. So he's going to have to abandon that one, and we can watch Cliffy see if he actually completes this lap, which he won't. Of course he won't. When does he ever? He always either at the very last minute or just doesn't do a lap at all. It's one of his little traits. Trying to look for
Lee
someone
apparently
else.
blocked by Sauber in Sector 3. That was Lio Blade.
Yep.
So yeah, he definitely was impeded then.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he had to go completely off the track, and Blade, I don't even know if he stayed on. If he did stay on, I'd be surprised, because it looked very sort of tight. But yeah, Tom's been out. I'm surprised there onto softs. Not supers. I guess more people seem to be wanting to opt for that. Even Matt, you can see in the little ladder, wants to change to ultras now as well. So yeah, this is going to be very interesting just to see how this all works out. We've still got 8 minutes to go, so plenty of time for some runs, but certainly one of the more interesting tyre strategies anyway.
Yeah, definitely. And there's still three cars yet to set a lap. Undefined, Cliffy and and LMC Hamilton down the back. So those guys have really got their head screwed on. They know exactly what they're going to do in this race because they know for a fact that if you start that in that position, it's not going to be very hard to do overtakes, especially if everyone in front of you is going to start on tyres that are going to die off within 5 or 6 laps. And these guys are quick; they know what they're doing. So I wouldn't surprise me if they make quick work of the guys in front of them if they start at the back. That is.
So Tom went up to P3 there actually with that lap. Only 3 tenths off the pace, and obviously we're watching Markland now. He's heading round on his second flying lap, and he'll see if he can get himself into the 29s, which is sort of ideal. He needs to be in there if he wants a shot at pole. Even possibly a low 29. Say someone like Matt or, you know, Lyle Blade or anyone gets in there on the ultras. He's gonna need that time to be low, or else he's gonna be in the middle of the field with bad tyres. It basically ruins his race, and he's made a mistake into the last turn. So he's not going to improve this one either. He's going into the pits.
Bailed as well, yeah.
Yeah, this is not going well.
Well, he's not going to beat that time on super softs. I know Markland quite well, and he's not the quickest of drivers. Although he can stick the car on pole against the not so quick guys, he is going to struggle to beat that lap time, I feel. And he's only got 6 minutes. He's probably only got a run left because he's already done 2 runs on ultra soft. So he's going to have to wait till the end now, or somehow pick up some pace from somewhere and beat that lap on a harder compound.
Interestingly, Lyle Blade is still out there on 4 lap old ultras, and he's finally going to pit. So he has spent that whole session going round and round, and he's only got 1 competitive lap in. 4.5 seconds off the pace as well. So yeah, hopefully he can actually get a proper run in next time, and doesn't block anyone as well.
Yeah, I think what you're saying about the time that he's off, I think he's actually going for a race pace simulation there because the 34.6 it's not that far off of race pace, and obviously he's just trying to see how long they actually last the tyres. But the trouble is now, if he invalidates on his next lap, he's going to start on very worn ultra softs, and he's going to really affect his race. So he's just got to make sure he puts a tidy-ish lap in. At the end of the day, it's not going to be anything special. He's only got to improve on his lap to get it on a different set of tyres. So hopefully he can get that nailed.
Well, that is the thing. If he starts on 4-lap old ultras, they're basically already gone. Like, he'll do 1 lap and they'll overheat and he'll be done. He'll be finished. So yeah, he really will. I'm sure he will increase the lap time, improve it, because it's not that hard to. But yeah, he does put himself under a little pressure if he does make a mistake. But anyway, we've got Casper starting another lap on his super soft. So we'll be watching. We'll have seen laps from all 3 compounds, see how they all compare. As Tom in the pits has actually went on to supers. That's what I thought he might have done earlier. So he's going to go for pole.
A lot of guys going on the ultras or supers now. Also Casper as well, he ran very wide coming out of turn 2 and surprised the lap's not invalidated. Actually, it was so wide coming out of the left right at turns 1 and 2. So we'll see how he hooks his lap up though. It looks decent so far.
Yeah, no major dramas. He had a mistake in turn 2 on the last lap as well, I noticed. I was on board with him for it. It was super close to track limits. So he is pushing the boundaries, and maybe that's just the way he likes to take it, but yeah, he could probably be a little quicker through there. But anyway, the rest of the lap, he isn't really backing off at all, so he must be feeling good. He obviously hasn't actually set a time yet, so either way, he needs to get a time on the board. Doesn't really matter how competitive it is, and he looks to be running that ERS bar pretty low. I've noticed people are really putting that deployment right up to the very max and running out towards the line, which isn't a good idea. It really does actually affect you massively, more than you'd expect. And yeah, P5 you'll still take it, but just running out of ERS there could have genuinely cost him about a 10th, because the acceleration is practically non-existent, and everyone now onto ultras or supers.
Yeah, it's interesting as you say. Everyone now onto the faster tyres, but yeah, as well with Casper as well. He was 3.5 tenths down in the first sector alone, so he only lost a 1.5 in the middle and last sectors, and I think his middle sector was actually on par with the pole time. So he has got the pace, but that first sector, because you require so much tire grip in the low speed traction zones, it just really affects your lap time. And as you can see there, he wasn't actually that far off in the last 2 sectors.
Yeah. I mean, the top 6 are all separated by 5 tenths of a second, so it is very tight for now. But we're going to see Cliffy, he's sort of got no choice but to do his lap now. And he always waits to the very end to just unleash his pace, really, and destroy the field. So we'll see if he can do that again. But yeah, certainly be keeping an eye on him. But first of all, Lee is starting his lap on supers. We've got 7 supers and 3 ultra runners. So yeah, and Lee's already backed off, so he must have invalidated a lap.
Got time to go around again. Just a quick one as well is that we've still got 6 guys that have set their fastest laps on softs, so we may actually see. I mean, there's three of the top 4 have actually set their best laps on the soft, so we may see a lot of guys bail out on their final laps because they're on that hardest tyre. But like I said at the start, they're going to be affected so much. We've got yellows in sectors 1 and 3 as well. I'm not quite sure what's going on there.
Casper is out of the session. Also, you see yellows for people just sort of backing off for some reason. There seems to be so often for that. You see a yellow flag when they're just trying to find some space for themselves. And looks like Cliffy isn't having the best lap, and he's what's he doing? He's parking it. Let other people through, I guess. He invalidated possibly on the exit of turn 2. And he's just
invalidated lap time there, yep, so he will be starting on the softs, that is confirmed. Meanwhile, Marklin is up on his first sector by just under 2 tenths, so he is improving.
He's on a night lap.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, on my screen it says he's on a night lap. He's about to go, and like I say, Cliffy was parked on the side of the track. So he's finished. Rather odd decision.
He's actually going to start last.
Yeah. But I guess that gives him free tower choice. Not that he really needs it. But, yeah. Championship leader starts last.
because he's done a lap, and I'm pretty sure if you do a lap, you start on that tyre compound. So although he's going to start last, I'm pretty sure he's still going to start on those soft tyres. But we'll see how that is. Everyone really slowing it down now in the last sector.
Yeah. All trying to find that all-important space, and I think the furthest into your lap is Tom. But I'll quickly look through the rest. Lyle Blades is just starting now. Yeah, I think Tom in third is about to finish the second sector. So we'll see if he is on pole position pace. You'd imagine he would be on a step softer compound to the one he did his last lap on. Look up at Zenke as well. And I guess Marklin, he's on them ultras. You'd think he has the most advantage here, but I just don't see it happening for him. I don't know why, but it's just... I feel the likes of Tom are going to be quicker.
Yeah, we'll see. He's coming to the last sector now.
Yeah, Marklin's out of the session, so he couldn't improve then. So
I
it's
think
out
he
of his
validated
hands.
actually having said that. I think he validated in the first sector again.
So here's Tom then under the last turn, only using 2 on the ERS to get off the line, but it doesn't really matter
Not the
to him.
best lap, but it is pole.
Yeah, but
Um,
5/10 of a second. Like I say, he didn't use as much ERS as he could have under the last turn, so there's, I guess, more to be earned there, but it's all really about Zenke and Matt, both on the same compound. Also Bugatti, ABR Matter and Lyle Blade, possibly not as quick, but still worth looking at some point. But Matt is only a couple of turns away now from the end of his lap, so we'll see him first into the
yeah,
final.
Blade, poor last corner as well. He's all over the place, and that's not going to be a big improvement at all. Yep, stays ninth.
Well, it gives him the
So,
ultras
very
for the
poor
start.
lap.
And yeah, Matt's gone pole. Matt is pole at the minute, and Zenke is backed off. He does not want to be starting on them tyres. So it's Matt then on pole position here in the Castellet. And there's only 2 starters on ultras, I think. Marklin and Lyle Blade.
They're going to struggle after the first 4 or 5 laps. They're really going to be struggling for temperatures and wear, because it's not necessarily temperatures that are the biggest thing around here. It's actually quite a lot of tyre wear that you receive. And it's the fast corners that really hinder your tyres, so it'll be interesting to see how the guys manage that, or whether they just go in for the 2-stop or pit earlier, and yeah, it will have to be a 2-stop if they pit any earlier, because the tyres will just explode at the end of the race otherwise.
But yeah, I think Zenke definitely one to watch. He backed off on that last lap, so he's definitely sandbagging, hiding a lot of his pace. And you'd expect him, if he can get through lap 1 with no dramas, he's certainly going to be in the frame for the victory. But it is Matt on pole from Tom, Marklin, Bugatti, Zenke, Casper, Lee, Matter, Lyle Blade, and last on the grid is Cliffy. Now, there's someone else is going to be in here, Future I think it was. Is he going to go behind?
Yeah.
Because Cliffy was disqualified, you'd imagine that I put him right at the back, but someone joined during the session, would they go ahead?
You
Guess we're about
would
to find
think
out.
so, because that's how disqualification works, but we'll find out in a moment's time when
Yes.
when they're all ready up and get onto the formation lap. We'll have a quick look.
Obviously, Future will get a free tyre show, so it'll be interesting to see what he does. I wouldn't be surprised if he decides to go for softs, honestly, or I don't know. If he is starting 11th, maybe he'll just fancy a long run just to get himself up there. But I guess we'll see what happens. And yeah, just about waiting now.
Yeah, if he wants to play conservative and just drop off for the first stint, he'll go softs. If he wants to be aggressive in that first stint, he's going to go supers. But either way, he's going to be in the optimal place because he's going to have 0 tyre wear. And
Yep.
that's going to be the biggest factor here, because everyone else is going to be starting with a lap plus of tyre wear. So he's going to definitely have an advantage in this first stint anyway.
Just another thing to note, if we say get a safety car in this race, that will instantly improve the chances of even if you start on softs, go into possibly ultras at the end, if they're able to. So that's something else to think about. But Cliffy then is ahead of Future on the grid, and he's going to be starting on softs.
Yeah, like I said, he did the
yeah.
lap on the softs, and it's forced him to start on the softs. But AMK opting for the supers then, so he is going to go aggressive in this first stint. But he's starting behind Blade on the Ultras as well. That's going to kill him off very early.
It will be
And he's really
very
struggling.
interesting. It'll be very interesting to see Marklin on this start. It's not the longest run to turn one, but it's long enough to get the advantage from them tyres. So he could certainly be challenging into that first chicane, but we'll have to see. But yeah, he has to be leading this race surely by the end of the first lap, or else his
Well,
day
you'd
is
think so,
over.
but oh, and both the Salvers have been disqualified.
Yes, hopefully they haven't got anything on their tyres that'll ruin their lives. I guess we'll find that out soon. But yeah.
Yeah, Marklin, as you say, one to watch, but at the same time, he is not the best of drivers. And to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if he retired in the first few laps. He had an awful week at Canada last time out, and I think he was lapped. It must have been at least 4 or 5 times before he eventually put it in the wall. So hopefully
Yeah.
things will go better for him today. But like I said, it's not gonna not gonna surprise me if something goes horrifically wrong for him in the first few laps.
Oh, Matt has spun on the outlap. That is not how you want to be preparing for your pole position. It's a way of picking up the tyres, I'll give him that, but apart from that, there's nothing much else apart from embarrassing. But anyway, Marklin as well in Monaco, he did set a brand new record, I believe, just in league racing in general, for the amount of pit stops in a race. He had 16, if I recall. So,
Gosh,
surely,
that is unheard of. That is utterly
surely,
ridiculous.
surely it can't get worse than their last two races. So hopefully we see him have a good one today. But they're all lined up in the grid. Then we're just waiting for the second, or not the second Ferrari, the one and only Ferrari on the grid. And there he is. And we're just waiting on the lights now. So it is Matt on pole with Tom on the front row and Marklin on the ultras behind. Who's going to go into turn one first? Their way, and it's a decent start from Matt. He's got away pretty well. He's already clear Tom, but he's going to get in the slipstream. And Mark, how easy Matt is that then? But anyway, into turn one, Matt leads the race, and Tom has got a decent exit. Will he be looking at going for the pass? He's certainly got a nice slipstream, but into that chicane, I can't see a move happening unless you're feeling risky. And look at Future right up the inside almost there off Lyle Blade. And he has certainly been quite aggressive on the start. But as Cliffy falls down to last, I wonder if he's just got any damage. Obviously we saw Marklin get launched into the wall. But apart
Definitely
from that,
has damage. And he's struggling as well. And he was, it looked like a bit of decent actually from the, I think it was Lee behind him, or maybe even Bugatti. I think it was a Williams, so yeah, possibly Bugatti. Just got too close to the back of him and Marklin sent into the wall. But like I said, it doesn't really surprise me at this stage.
And you can see him off in Narnia there in the background. He's got a 3-second time penalty for quarter cutting and his day is run. And you can see Future trying to get past now the second Cyber. Started last, currently in P9, and now down the inside, going for P8. And you can see the two ahead also having a fight. He might get involved with that soon. But certainly, he's one of the bigger movers in the start. And you can see Lee is struggling, so maybe it was contact between him and Marklin, because he just doesn't look to have any confidence. He's already 1.5 seconds behind Casper, and there's some real pressure from the guys behind. But it is Matt who leads this race from Tom, Bugatti, Senki, Casper, Lee, and Matt is going to try and go for the move now into turn one.
Yeah,
Can he
Lee's
make
struggling.
it work? And Marklin's got his day is just over, isn't it? Oh man.
Oh dude, every time it just doesn't surprise me anymore. Anyway, Lee, yeah, very slow. She said the back end seems to be very twitchy on that Force injury as well. As he came out of the final corner, you could see he was just fighting the car for grip. And there's no way there's any tyre deg or tyre temperature issues at the moment, so he's definitely just got a setup issue there where he's just not comfortable with the balance of the car. So yeah, we'll see how he gets on.
Interestingly, Zenki is keeping good pace with Bugatti up ahead, and he's obviously the highest runner on the softs, and he's looking pretty handy, isn't he? Only just about a second off the lead. You can see the top four are so close right now, and I wonder if Marklin is doing some more. Yes, he is. He's off in Narnia again.
Oh dear. But yeah, it'd be interesting what you said about Zenki is that all he has to do is really control his tyres because he hasn't got to push in this first stage of the race. All he's got to do is save his tyres and then push when the guys pit because that's the crucial part of the race for him. Obviously, he's going to be faster at the end, but during that time when these guys are going to be on fresh softs and he's going to be on warm softs, that's when he's really got to make the most of it because if he's too slow and he burns his tyres out early on, then he's going to lose out. But if he keeps with these guys and he keeps his tyre temps and tyre deg low, then he'll be in a great place at the end of this race.
Well, the simple fact is, he's keeping with the pace, and honestly, he could take the lead just outright on these softs, because, I mean, Tom, I wouldn't say he's struggling, but he's getting close in Sector 3, but then, well, at the start of it, and then falls back dramatically.
Zenki at the inside. Yep,
yeah.
Bugatti lets him through.
So, Zenki, he just seems to have so much more grip, which is so surprising. And, yeah. He's currently up into the podium places in future, making some more ground up on Matter, who goes wide off the track. Who's going to come out on top here? Ryan outside tries future. That's not going to work for there, surely. But he's going to keep it
DRS
going.
as well this lap.
Yep, onto the DRS. And we'll see. Surely he's going to have a chance up the inside. And this is for P7. You can see Lee as well, trying to have a go at Casper. His tires seem to have some grip in him again, but there's been contact. And looks like Tom is right on the back of Matt. Is he going to have a look on the inside? He goes for it for the lead of the race. And he's got it off Matt. So it's a Toro Rosso now into the lead of the race. And Zenki is just lurking in the background. And looks like Matt has started to lose a bit of ground as well.
There's a five-way battle at the moment for P5. And it's being led by Lee and everyone behind closing up. You've got Matter as well, who's just lost 2 places to AMK Future and Cliffy.
Oh,
I'm not sure he had an illegal overtake. He backed out quite significantly.
What is Markland doing? I just see him reversing around some corners. Ah, he's having a great time. He's like he's at a theme park and he's playing on all the bumper carts. But anyway, looks like Matt is not going to give this lead up without a fight. And the gap is just 0.5 of a second between the top 3. This is incredible. And as you say, that huge fight. And we all know who that is, and we're not even gonna bother looking at that yellow flag. And yeah, looks like Lee's got a penalty, so that's not gonna help his cause. And it looks like Zenki hasn't got a very good line there as he heads to the back straight. He might be a bit slower, might lose his chance of going for second place. But look at the speed Matt's got. He's using his DRS very effectively. Round the outside, can he get by Tom again for the lead? No.
Very deep into the first part of that chicane. It's compromised his line, and here comes Zenki in the Mercedes.
Yeah, up the hill they go. I'm keeping an eye on that fight for P6 as well. I want to be wary about how that one ends, but Zenki on the inside, he must try it for P2 in this race. He can't take any big risks. He knows he's playing the long game, and he gets ahead. And look at
3
Bugatti.
wide as they come through the fast right-hander as well for P6. And AMK's up into P6. He's done well there. And Cliffy passed Casper as well.
Bugatti is now right on the back and looking for it. Tom made a mistake, I think. I think Tom might have went wide. Because look at the top 4. I just looked like Zenki was right up at the back of him. And look at this. A Toro Rosso, Mercedes, Renault, Williams fight for the victory. Who could have saw that one coming? And is there a chance for Zenki? Surely he can get past on this lap. You can just see how much more tire grip he has as Tom goes wide off the track. It looks like them supers are already gone.
It's probably tyre temps more than anything, but at lap 5 you should not be struggling that much. Especially only, yeah, like I said, 5 laps in. Live Blade, meanwhile, has absolutely thrown this race away.
Markland's onto the intermediate tyres here. We've got 4 different tyre compounds on the track right now. That's Markland for you.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. No words needed.
Yeah. And Zenki, is he gonna have a little look? Is he just not close enough? He isn't, he just didn't seem interested.
He's going for the move on AMK, meanwhile.
Ah, penalty though for Zenki. He cut the turn. Didn't need to do that. He's got more speed. I said, no risks. You're on the long game here. And, yeah. Clearly he wasn't listening.
He's just got to pace himself now. He's not got to go gung-ho. He's just got to save his tyres a little bit more now because he is pushing hard early on. Like I said at the beginning of the race, he's just got to pace himself against these top guys. And although guys behind aren't particularly dropping off, but they are beginning to just gap a bit, and Cliffy as well on the soft tyres. He's not making as much progress he probably would have hoped, but he is in front of AMK, which he would have liked, because they're probably the quickest two at the back of the grid at the moment.
I mean, Cliffy isn't a mile away off the lead. He could still be there, but here comes Zenki now. Remembering he's got that 3-second penalty, this is for the long game. If he can get ahead of Tom here, then he needs to pull away and fast. He needs to take advantage of them tyres, and he's into the lead of this race. But Tom looks to have a decent exit, but he's just not closing enough. So the Mercedes man then into the lead, and Marklin, praise the Lord, is out of the race on them intermediates. Who knows what he would have done next? He probably would have ended up on the wets at some point. And yeah, he's out of the race. So we're down to 10. Everyone who finishes now will be thrilled to know that they're going to get some points on the board.
Blade in the pits along with Casper as well, both onto super soft tyres. They're going for the 2-stop today.
Yeah. So we'll have a look at their progress later on. And let's have a look at Clippy now. So surely he should have a pretty decent chance of getting past Lee pretty soon, and then after that he's only sort of got 5 seconds to make up, and he's on to the leading battle. So Clippy is certainly not out of this one yet. He's got a great chance of taking the victory today, and first step is to get past the Force India, which he's going to do now up the inside into
He's gone deep. Lee's gone deep.
Yeah. Oh, that could affect him later on the exit, could give him a better run.
Around the outside, just hasn't got the tyres. And yeah, Cliffy through with ease in the end.
He definitely didn't give it up though, did he? Lee almost right up the inside once again, but he just couldn't get away past. And that is Cliffy then on the charge. Can he catch it to Zenki and his little gang of people? I mean, you can see Zenki now 1.3 seconds clear. So it just looks like the super softs aren't the best tyre, and yeah, it's very surprising. Because I feel they're better. Tom penalty, that is bad. That is going to affect him badly now. He's lost that in crucial advantage, and Lee gets a penalty as well. And he's got Future right on the back of him. Can he ever go into the chicane? No, he's not going to take the risk. But honestly, I think the super soft tyre is a better race tyre at the end of the race. So I honestly do think the Cliffy and Zenki are on the perfect strategy here. And I don't know why I haven't really caught on to it. But maybe I'm wrong. But I mean, the gaps kind of show it.
Yeah, like you say, in hindsight, it is the perfect strategy, but because of the guys on the supers, because they've pushed so hard so early, the tyres have just burned out, and as you can see now, they're just unable to push. And yes, I'll have more wear than the guys, Zenki in front, but at the same time, they should be, even at maybe even at this stage, still on pace, if not quicker, than the guys on the softs. But as you can see, they just burned out their tyres so early. Look at that, another 8/10 at the end of this lap. It's still going up. So yeah, these guys on Super's really struggling at the moment, and that's what you get for pushing too hard early on.
I mean, if they all start fighting as well, Clippy's going to be watching that gap, and he's going to be getting very excited, I imagine, seeing that second, third, and fourth, you can see that on his mini-map as well, they're right on each other, and I think they're going to start fighting again. Because, I mean, Bugatti is right on the back of the map, who's not too far away from Tom either. So, you know, down that long back straight, and you know, all the way up to the end of the second sector, they are gonna be very close. And Cliffy's got that gap now down to 3.6 seconds, and it's just gone up a little bit again. But the point is, it's closing, and you can see him in the background. He's taking Lee with him. He's taking Lee, Future, Matt with him. So yeah, this is gonna get close. And the gap up front now, 4 seconds. So wow. Anyway, here comes Bugatti.
These guys safe in their ERS at the moment.
Yeah.
And Bugatti looking for a move on map, but he's not going to get it.
Yep. Once again, as you said, he just weren't using their ERS there. If he went up to a higher ERS mode, he would have been able to get past easily. But I think he wanted it up the hill, possibly, to make sure there's no way of Matt getting back past. But once again, not using it. So are they thinking about what's going to happen after their pit stops? And would that also suggest that they're thinking of pitting maybe even on this lap? Which isn't out of the question. But Tom had a massive slide.
Just another losing out to Zenki massively now.
Another thing that can happen, and it has, the potential to happen. These tires hit one cliff and then they get back to normal. and I think they're starting to get a bit of the pace back. They aren't losing as much on that last lap, so I think the pace is slightly coming back to them. But I think it's going to be gone in the next lap or two anyway. But I just don't see their point of staying on these for much longer. I imagine the softs will go to about 20 laps. So honestly, if I were them, I'd be getting them tires off and fast, because they are absolutely ruining their races right now. It's
Yeah, the
almost
advantage of
certainly.
going longer in this first stint is
Yeah.
they'll have more at the end of the race to push on, which is, at the end of the day, you can lose a race at the end, you can't lose it at the beginning. So these guys will just be trying to get as much out of these tyres as possible before going into the softs later on, and then they can push later. And the undercut's going to be massive here as well, because obviously if they're losing time to the guys in front on softs, they're going to be losing a lot more to the guys on fresh softs.
Yeah. Looks like Matter wants to try around the outside of Future. Looks like his tires are gone, and he's actually went off the track as a Matter, so he couldn't quite get it to work. But once again, we were saying about Future at the start as well, saying about him going aggressive. That sort of fizzled away, hasn't it? And I know
Yeah,
once again
definitely.
we're saying once again about hindsight, but he had a golden opportunity there to go on them softs, but he didn't decide to take the chance. But look at Bugatti. He's right on the back of the map, but he just can't find his way through. He does not want to use his ERS, which is weird.
He's just waiting for these guys to pit, and then he's going to go for the overcut. Honestly, I think Bugatti's in the perfect position to have an overcut right now. Unless he pits now, nope, he stays in, stays on, out rather.
Yeah,
They are going to
so
be pitting in the next couple of laps, that's for sure. No doubt about that.
looks like Matter now is ahead of Future. So Future makes the first stop then of the
That
of
is
the Super
surprising.
Runners. Yeah, that is very surprising on the freshest tires, and he's the one who pits first. But
Been held as well. What's going on here? Oh no, never mind. It's
it's an
game.
image. Yep. So
He's going to come out in clean air.
well, the overcut is important. Then imagine. I just don't see any way that they can make an overcut work, because there's no one that can overcut him at this point. So I think if anyone, he's gonna be looking at trying to get possibly up to that P6 if he can through undercutting, and especially if people start to fight again. I mean, you don't know. I think Lee's fallen too far back, but as you can see, Cliffy is arriving on the scene here of this fight for P2.
Mm-hmm.
And once these four start scrapping, they're all gonna start to close up on all this. It just depends when they all decide to pit. If they wait another 2 or 3 laps, Future's looking at a massive gain. But if they pit on this lap, then maybe not as much. But
Bugatti is going to be the big loser or winner here. He's got to make the decision, and the guys in front of him are going to be reacting to whether he pits now or not.
these
But yeah,
guys, they're
Tom
not
in
racing.
front struggling.
They're not racing for the win anymore. So they need to think about the long game, and it is Bugatti into the pits, and he makes that choice. He's gonna get out of their way, and I guess he knows he will be ahead of Future, so we'll get that gap, I guess.
The
He
thing as well
doesn't
with Cliffy here, he could actually affect this massive brawl for P2, because if he gets involved, these guys are going to be so much slower on their in lap than
exactly.
Bugatti has. So yeah, this could be huge for
I
Bugatti.
I honestly still think that it just the amount of time that we've seen them lose already, and they're still losing it against someone like Future, who's he's actually jumped Lee, look. So there we go. There's that P6 that he was looking
Right behind
for,
him as well.
and he hasn't just jumped. He's so much further ahead, and he's only 4
So he could
seconds off
lose another
Bugatti.
position here.
Yeah, and Matt is being overtaken by Cliffy, so Cliffy's making moves. That means they're losing time, and yeah. Future made a good 5 seconds there on 1 lap. So, I mean, Future. It's not out of the question that Future's going to be ahead of
All
1 or 2
over
of
the
these
place.
guys. And look at Cliffy then, up the inside of Tom. How hard is he going to fight this one? I mean, they're almost
They've got
10
to pit this lap.
seconds.
They have to pit this lap.
Yeah, they're almost 10 seconds off the lead. They are losing massively right now. And I think they're almost certainly not going to be on the podium, these two now. I
Bugatti
just
could
don't
be
see it.
about 4 seconds in front by the time they actually pit. It's about 24 seconds forward pit stop.
Future's only
If you
4
take that
seconds off. Future's only 4 seconds off Bugatti. I genuinely do not count
could be in
out
this.
Future. Yeah, exactly. He really could be in
Burning
this.
through that ERS, and he's picking up time bends. He's pushing so hard.
And it looks like there's Casper on the outside of Lee. Can he make that one work? That'd be a fantastic move, but he's went off the track. But you know what? He'll still go for it. Is he able to get it done? Yes, because off to Narnia
He
he
goes
went.
wide in the end.
So then,
Right, pit stop
let's
then.
see. Let's see, Bugatti, as he comes down the main straight. Remember, the pit lane speed limiter here is painfully slow. And where are they? They're nowhere near him. He's miles clear compared to where he was before. And Future on the fresher tyres is actually right on the back. Look at that, you can see them all in front of him now. And he has made some massive gains here.
There's critical on fuel, but he will be gaining for the rest of this lap as well, because these guys are still going to have cold tyres. He's just got to make sure that he closes that gap, get within DRS, and then he can stay with these guys that are on 2 laps fresher tyres. And this is going to be crucial, because if he can get past now, in the next 4, 5, 6 corners, before these guys can really heat their tyres up, he's going to be in a good position.
Oh,
You
wow.
can see Matt there, struggling with grip on the exit of turn, I think it's turn 6 there. And he's in DRS now, and he's got to start saving his DRS, because otherwise he is going to drop back.
Yeah. But, yeah, Zenki now is about 10 seconds clear of Clippy, so that just shows just how quick he is on them tyres today. I mean, he's pulling away from Clippy, and that's not something we're used to seeing very often. So yeah, brilliant drive so far. And he certainly looks to be the man who's going to win this race. And he's going to dominate, he's going to win it by miles at this rate. So a bit of a change to the norm. Not going to complain.
Yeah, definitely.
And
And Casper and Lee still fight. Oh wait, what's happened here?
they must have had a bit of a collision.
Casper dropped right off there. It was almost like VSC pace.
He could have had a bit of a. He could have even like spun a little bit. He could have had like a little power slide. That can happen. We've seen people already having some power slides in this race. Is he going to pit though? No. So I think he must have just had a bit of a power slide.
He was on a
What that
2-stop
means-
strategy anyway, so he's going to have to
Yeah.
stop again. But he's only on 7-lap old super, so he can't be. He should just push too hard and the tyres have overheated, maybe.
Well, what that does mean is that Matters jumped the two of them. So whatever they did, it's helped Matter out a little bit. And he's up to P7 now.
He'll finish there if you ask me, because Lee's pitted quite a few laps before, and Matter on the fresher tyres will get the better of him at the end of the race. We've only just obtained half race distance now as Zenki comes into the final sector. Gap's still at 10 seconds as well, so he's in a healthy position right now.
Right now, he's got loads of penalties already, just on this lap alone. So I wonder if he's just losing his head a little bit. And he doesn't want to fall behind Lioblade and finish last. Because at this rate, them
Yeah,
penalties
that's-
are going to put him behind him. And, you know, for pride, he doesn't want to get that. But, yeah, we're just seeing the gaps getting a bit strung out for now. I guess that's something we're just going to have to deal with until we see what...
is that? Someone spun. It's Casper. Yep, he's
Yeah.
round
So
in the final sector.
I think he really has just been doing some power slides, hasn't he? And he's just killed his tyres.
Gonna have to go on to softs now. There's no way his tyres are gonna last him any longer.
Yeah.
He's burning them out like this now. He's gonna have to come in and get some fresh rubber and just nurse them to the end of the race, unfortunately, because those tyres are dead.
Yeah. And into the pit he comes very, very slowly indeed. For some reason.
I'm not sure what on earth he's doing there, but yeah, we'll go
Yeah.
check back up with the guys fighting for 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
He's
Tom is closing in on
just
Bugatti.
went to ultras. He's just went on to ultras. So Casper's given up. That's the summary of this race for him, I guess. Ultra soft tyres. It might as well have been the full wets. So we've got the top 8 then on the soft compound tyres, and Lioblade's going to be off them supers soon. Casper, for whatever reasons, onto the ultras, and Marklin retired on inters. Yeah. I think someone's just
Tom
been in.
definitely faster of the two between himself and Bugatti. Cliffy as well taking a chunk of time out of Zenki. Took about a second out of him last lap, but the gaps once again stabilised. These guys will be in the next couple of laps.
I didn't
Keep
realise
an eye
that.
on those guys, because they are within pit stop range. You know, Bugatti will jump them by quite a margin. So Zenki, Cliffy's gonna be even further behind as well. So Cliffy's gonna be in a not very good position because he's gonna be behind AMK, maybe even Matter as well.
Yeah, but
And
he's
then
gonna
Zenki's
be
gonna be behind AMK, possibly in front of him. But yeah, we'll see how that develops.
one of that. One of Zenki's got 27 seconds to Bugatti, so
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, I've
yeah.
completely. I'm looking at the interval, not the leader time. There we go. Yeah, so Zenki's pretty much safe as long as he doesn't have an appalling in lap. This is what I
Yeah.
was talking about before, where this is where they've got to manage their tyres, and if they haven't managed their tyres before this, they're going to struggle. But they look pretty solid for now, and the lap times seem to be showing that. Let's just have a quick look. 35.7 for Zenki last time round, Bugatti 33.9, so they are lapping about 1.7 quicker at the moment. Yeah, 33.7 for Tom as well, so these guys are gaining. It's not going to be
And
enough.
Zenki's in the pits, so he's that's a bit of an early stop though. Can he
Does
make
Cliffy
them
react? Yeah, Cliffy
tires?
react as well. Cliffy's in.
Can he make them tires last? That seems a bit of a long time, don't you think? 12
Yeah, I
laps.
think with the softs on at the beginning of the race, you've got a full fuel load as well, so the car is going to be generating a lot more energy into the tyres. So your tyres are going to wear more beginning of the race. That's why the ultras go off so quickly. So now they're in onto a softer set later on in the race. The car's going to be lighter, and they won't suffer as much tyre deg or tyre temp. So these guys should be able to manage it to the end of the race. It's always a close one here anyway because of the wear. But yeah, I'd expect them to get to the race, end of the race quite comfortably now.
So Cliffy slots back in 5th position, and yeah, the fight is on. Can he get himself up to that P2 again? I imagine Bugatti and Tom might well help him out a bit here because they are about to engage in battle down in the DRS zone and all the way up the hill as well. So we'll see how this all pans out. Tom goes for the inside, and that was very close to contact, and Zenki gets a penalty. He's got 2 now, I think, in this race. So we want to keep an eye on them as well for later on. But that is Tom up into P2 again.
Will Bugatti come back at him into the flat right hander? He's dropped off way too much, but he might have a go back into the braking right hander. Can he get closer to? I think he's just going to stay in position for now. We'll see how that develops in a few laps time because he's going to be just trying to maintain the tyres at the moment, and then of course Tom in front is not going to be knowing what Bugatti's going to try and do. So it'll be interesting to see how this battle pans out. Of course, with Cliffy closing as well.
So as it stands, then Zenki leads the race. He's got 2 penalties. Tom's got 1. So that means he will still win by under a second. But the point is, he's still there. I don't know if Cliffy's got any penalties. I'm going to check if he's got any penalties, because that could actually be the race decider. And Cliffy's got none. Cliffy hasn't got 1 penalty. He's got a 6 seconds advantage here over Zenki. So if he can just...
Zenki on the fresh supers as well. He's going to be pulling away from these guys on the softs. Cliffy's
So,
going to be losing ground the longer he spends behind these guys. So it's definitely advantage Zenki at this point. He's definitely done the better job of getting out in front of the traffic. And yeah, like I said, even with the time penalty, I still don't think. Look, it's up to 5.2 already. So yeah, he's going to run away with this now. And Matta gets past AMK further down.
Oh, Bugatti was so close to going for the move there on top, but he just backed out at the last second. Maybe he wants to run up the hill, but he's run too deep, and it might cost him the chance. But up the hill they go anyway. And Bugatti has got the run. He has got a chance. And who's going to come out on top here? Into that long right-hander. Down the inside goes Bugatti, and he's up ahead again, but he goes wide. Yeah, he's gone too deep. And that is Tom back ahead once again. But now that gives Bugatti a good exit, and if he can go around the outside there, that'd be quite incredible.
He goes for the cutback here.
Yeah, but he got on the curb a little bit, but so did Tom. And they're going to go for it again. Surely not into here. There's no way that's going to work.
If he can slingshot himself around the outside, no, he doesn't go for it.
And so he waits again. Gap at the top, 7 seconds, but Zenki fastest lap 31.9. And we'll be looking at Cliffy, yeah, we'll be looking at him in a minute. There he goes across the line and is not faster, so it certainly looks like Zenki's got the pace to win this race. But Cliffy is now right into this battle. In the next lap or two, he'll be surely up there in P2. He has to be.
Yeah, I think so. And Lee's struggling a little bit with turning. He's getting his oh my goodness, very wide out of turn 2 through turn 3.
So Bugatti on the DRS again. Tom is actually on a hot lap. He's been saving his ERS then. That'd be why Bugatti was getting so close to the lap before, because quite frankly I thought that fight was over until the last lap, and suddenly they are fighting each other again. But yeah, Tom must have just been sandbagging and saving that ERS, but now Bugatti's going to do the same thing. So expecting to launch a bit of an attack on the next lap. And that's obviously providing that Clippy hasn't already got to him by that point. He's now just 6/10 behind Matt. And I think Bugatti might have went a little wider. I don't know if that was the camera angle or...
Cliffy's going to get past Matt end of this sector.
Yeah.
It's just so much more quick. He's closing so quickly.
And yeah, you can just see.
On the outside and inside the last corner, no.
He wants the DRS maybe. So we'll whack the ERS up to 3. That's all he needs. And as he heads on the main straight, it goes up to 4 in fact. And look at the slingshot effect there. How quick is that? Up into P4. And now just 2 cars remain before he gets a bit of clean air. And he can try and close down the leader. And he'll have probably about 7 or 8 laps to do it, just depending on how quickly he gets past these two. First he has to get into DRS, which I think he's gonna do.
Yeah,
he might
just be out, you know. The gap is just literally just over a second.
Man.
And Cliffy's gonna lose out this lap. And he's critical on fuel, Cliffy, as well. So that's gonna hurt him. So can Cliffy, and he's under threat from Matt as well with DRS from behind, but he's not close enough.
I wonder if Clippy just decides to save. If he just decides to save the tyres, save the ERS, just get it all back up to full again. Because as it stands, he's about 9 seconds off the lead, and that means he only needs about 3 more seconds to win the race. And it could well be one of another races. Zenke's done a great job so far. I mean, Cliffy only needs 1 more warning, and he's got a penalty. But the fact is, being more consistent might actually win this one for Cliffy, and he'll have won it from 10th place. But certainly for me now, he's my favourite for the victory, just on the lack of penalties alone.
Yeah,
but
I
anyway,
think he knows that he's just got to take it easy because he's got the advantage over Hamilton. So we'll see. He's just got to pace himself really and just not pick up any silly warnings.
Oh man, look at the grip.
I think he'll win it still. But like I said, Clippy is very quick at the moment. But the longer he spends on these tyres behind cars, the longer it's going to be before he can start closing that gap to Zenke in front. And it's going to be his tyres wearing out as well. That's the big thing here, because if Bugatti can hold him up and he can force him to sort of burn out his tyres, he will be in a better position at the end of the race for Bugatti to come back up Clippy and then maybe have a shot at getting past him in the last couple of laps.
This is for P3 then. Bugatti moves to the inside, but it's a completely pointless defensive manoeuvre, because around the outside, Clippy has to get that one done, and he does so. And Bugatti, just no grip on the exit, puts himself under pressure from Matt. He might have got the hill. During all this, Futures just had to pit, so I wonder if he's got any damage. He's fallen down to P9, and yeah, what a shame for him. He was having a good race. He made a decent undercut earlier on, but now down to P9. And yeah, still points. So I guess he'll take that still.
Bugatti's struggling on those soft tyres. Matt coming now.
He had a huge slide when he was trying to get back past Cliffy. I think that might just have... He may need to cool the tyres down a little bit, and that might just be what causes him to be overtaken. Don't forget, mine's on 1 lap fresher tyres, Jim. Bugatti, I don't know how much that 1 lap is going to affect him, but I mean, it must affect a little bit.
It's going to be about, I think it's 7 to 8% of the lap on the softs. They do take quite a pounding. Maybe a bit less than that, actually, maybe more between 6 and 7, maybe even 5% a lap, but that is going to affect them. It just affect the amount of speed they can take into the corner, really, but in hindsight, it's really not going to affect them that much, and they'll probably get past him here if he's close enough.
So, Tom versus Clippy. Let's see the gap, and it's closing massively. Look at that! Tom only on 1 ERS, Cliffy on I think it was 4 at the time, and he just closed that 5/10 like it was nothing. And it's now 9.9 seconds. And remember, Cliffy will be almost certainly unaware that Zenki's got 2 time penalties. So as far as he's concerned, he's going to be pushing like hell to try and catch up to the back of that Mercedes. So he is going to be going hell for leather to the end of this race. And the gap is already starting to fall. So
He's
we've
just got
got...
to make sure he doesn't lose out to the guys behind, because of course the guys behind are only on 4-lap older tyres, and they are on the harder compound, so it's going to be interesting towards the end of this race. But Cliffy, as we know, does have pace, but Tom is actually coming back at him here. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if we see a move out of turn 6 again, but it just depends on how much grip he's got on those tyres and how close he can stay through that first sector. So of course he's got DRS now down the front straight, and that's going to close the gap up just a little bit more.
Well, this can... I'll take this back to my original point when the 2 at the top pitted. Is that they're going to be doing quite a large amount of laps on them tyres, and they will go. This is the point where they started to go for Tom, Bugatti, Matt earlier on, isn't it? Around 6-7 laps in. And it honestly looks like Cliffy's going to be reeled in again, which is quite surprising. So we'll see how that one works out. As Tom...
Yeah, the gap is well under a second, so he's definitely going to get DRS as we see that activation point.
Look how much hours he's saved up as well. He's certainly going to have a chance. And look at the closing speed. The overspeed's humongous. And they'll just be looking for the exit. Up the hill, he will want to go for the move. And we just saw how quick the softs were at this stage of the stint at the start of the race. So we'll see if the same happens on the second stints. But surely, if it is true, these tyres are going to be better, then Tom wants to be passing. And he wants to be passing them now. Because obviously...
He's still critical on fuel as well, so he's still having to... You can see on the end of the straight as well, I'm not sure if you caught it. But Cliffy was actually he was going into lean at the end of the straight, coming out of turn 6 into 7, trying to save as much fuel as possible, and that's why he's getting caught, because he's burned through all of his fuel that he had at the beginning. He's now having to save, but at the same time he's got to defend, so I don't think he's going to close the gap at all to Zenki, you know. I think that gap's going to stabilise and maybe even grow, because Cliffy just hasn't got the fuel.
There's only 5 laps to go, so it isn't looking likely anymore. He needs 4 seconds to catch, and it's not going to happen. Tom needs 7 seconds, and he's got a great chance of getting Cliffy now. And if the supers drop off like they did in the first stint, then these softs come alive, and they absolutely have the pace. But like you say, it's just about, you know, whether he can get past first. And looks like liably it's got by Casper, doesn't it? Having a little bit of a ding dong. I think Casper's been off to Narnia again, and he's last.
Make that old ultras, they are going to be dead beyond anything.
Yeah.
8 laps on ultra softs. I'm surprised he's managed to get that far without a puncture. I think he's going to retire. Oh no, just letting be the leader. Sorry.
And
His
Matt.
teammate, in fact.
Matt just got by, and you can see the guy is right on. He was actually pushing him out of that chicane. He wants to get back past. He's going to try it round the outside into the right-hander. That's not going to work, is it? Surely not. And he does back it off. But he's now been overtaken. He's down to P5. And, yeah, that's probably where he's going to end up finishing if he can't find the pace to get back past. That move has been coming for a while now. It has to be said. So, yeah. Matt up to P4. And Tom
yeah,
still...
Matt definitely the quicker driver. And I think Matt will actually catch these guys in front, because if Tom keeps hindering Cliffy's tyres, then it's going to be a four-way battle once again. But Matt definitely quicker than Bugatti, and that's why he's got past. And then he's just going to pull Bugatti back up to this group in front.
Tom has saved his ERS, and Cliffy has not saved his ERS. So this is surely the lap where Tom gets past. The gap's only 2/10 anyway, and you can see Casper letting him through. But yeah, Tom, he has to take advantage now. It's still 4 laps. He can. It's very unlikely, but he can make some inroads. And if Zenki gets another penalty, then it's suddenly all up for grabs. So, surely onto the back straight, this is Tom's time. He's got so much more ERS to use here and up the hill. So he has to make advantage of this and get past up to P2.
Yeah,
then he has to
derating,
get...
he's run out of ERS.
Yeah.
He's
And
going to be
then...
so slow as they come up the hill now into the fast right-hander.
Bugatti penalty, that could ruin his chances, you know. It depends what everyone else has got.
Again.
And Tom he's not closing as quickly as you'd expect. But up the top of the hill, that's where he gets it, but it's too late. And Tom somehow hasn't been able to get past, which I find extraordinary. With the pace that
The
he's
only
got.
way. Yeah, it's the only way it's going to be Cliffy now is if Cliffy gets a time penalty, gets past the next lap and manages to pull 3 seconds, but it seems unlikely at this stage. So he's going to have to start fighting Cliffy and pray that he makes a mistake.
Oh, he's
Cliffy
into the
touches
back. And he's getting impatient, but there's only 3 to go in this race, so Tom really, he's got quite a fight in his hands now to get by and get himself that 3 seconds that he needs. But on the exit here, he's going to have a good chance here. He took a much better line, and he's not using the ERS, and that's when he really could have taken advantage. He's missing his opportunities here every chance he gets, and it's going to catch up with him eventually. He has to get a move done at some point.
Cliffy's still trying to save you. You can see the fuel light flashing yellow on and off.
Tom isn't on the ERS early enough. I don't know if he's going to get him. Because Cliffy's got enough now, but he didn't put his ERS on early enough, Tom. But down the back straight, I just don't think he's got enough. Is he going to go up the inside? He will try it. Can he get it done, or will Cliffy hand it around the outside, which turns to the inside on the exit? We'll see how it works. Tom gets a hit, but no! There was contact on the exit. Tom cut across him. Or Cliffy cut across. They both sort of cut across each other, and it's put Tom out of the race. And if he wasn't frustrated before, he's going to be absolutely taking that PS4 and chucking it out the window or something, because that's his race over. And Matter gets
livid.
Matter. It's Christmas Day. You're up to P5.
He might get podium, you know, because I don't know if Matt has penalties, but mind you, he's quite a long way behind,
yes.
so never mind.
16 seconds. Yeah,
desync.
Tom, yep, desync. So that's they just both look they cut across each other, which obviously doesn't happen. No one's gonna be stupid enough to do that. So yeah, a desync then has put Tom out of the race just as he got the move made, which is it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Unfortunately, Marklin as well, desynced at the beginning of the race, just confirms our suspicions. But yeah, Cliffy, he's got to try and keep that gap, but his tyres are going to be dying off now. He's been fighting.
Yeah, I think there's only a lap and a half to go now. I think he might just, he'll sit back and he'll just take the P2 from 10th on the grid. I'm sure he won't complain, will he? So yeah.
See how these last couple of laps go, because the guys behind tyres are going to be dying off as well, so it's all going to be display for in the last lap also. When Zenki comes into the last sector now.
I mean, Matt,
huge lead.
I don't know, it's just Cliffy's tyres. I'd be amazed if they don't start to, you know, really feel the pressure now. This could be an entertaining last lap for them. And lays well on Matter. But yeah, Bugatti, I think he'll be feeling quite irritated because he did manage to jump Matt at the beginning of this stint, and he's just sort of let it slip. And he's going to end up without a podium at this rate. I think he's got too many penalties actually anyway, thinking about it.
Cliffy using his ERS in the right places, Matt is using it throughout the lap, and that's why he's able to defend Cliffy. He's able to defend in the areas where he needs to, and that is on the straight. And as you can see how Matt's not actually going to be close enough unless he can gain the time he needs in this first sector, which I don't think he is. The gap is still 1.2, which should be enough for Cliffy unless he gets a puncture. God help him if that happens.
Well, talking of punctures and tyre wear, let's see the leader, make sure nothing goes wrong for him. That would be the last thing we want. Zenki, all on his own, and he has been since, what, lap 5, 6, when he took the lead. He has absolutely dominated this race. And it's a real change, because, I mean, Cliffy has been so dominant this season. It's not very common to see another driver absolutely ace it like this. But only one sector remains, and Zenki is going to take the victory here in Paul Ricard. And look at that, second, third, fourth, all within a second of each other in their separate gaps, but there's just no chances for them to get past anymore. And
one opportunity into the last corner, but he's got to be right up Cliffy's gearbox, and I don't think he's going to get it. Although he's gaining this last sector, it's not going to be enough.
Lee has a late challenge for P5 as well. Only 3/10. Matter's got no slipstream to help him out, but looks like there's no grip on Lee's tyres. He almost
Think
spun.
he crossed the line.
So Zenke's won the race, and we'll see these two as well. So yeah, like I said, Zenke, such a dominant performance from today. And Cliffy, I don't think he had any penalties. It's about Bugatti as well. They all had penalties. You can see the gap. Just Bugatti fell so far behind, didn't he? 3 penalties. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I think 2 time penalties. So that's yeah, not done himself any favours there.
I just wonder if he'll feel that he really could have done better there. Matter crosses the line and Lee as well, and yeah, they were very close
Goodness.
to each other. Turns out it was 16 seconds. So yeah, penalties really affected that one, didn't it? And we're waiting for future. I guess he started last, and he's gonna get P7. But oh, what a disappointing race for him as well. He could have been right in that fight. He was right on the back of Cliffy when he came out of the pits, was he not? Or was it Matt? Well, he could have jumped Cliffy actually. I wonder why he didn't. But yeah, he just didn't seem to have the pace, did he, at the end? And he's gonna be our last finisher, P7. And I think we can safely confirm the order now. So it was Zenke from Cliffy, Matt, Bugatti, Matter, Lee, Future, Lio Blade, and Casper. And your 2 retirements, both from Desync, we suspect. Well, Tom's confirmed it was Desync for him. And Markland, we saw him crash on the start finish line within about 2 seconds of the lights going out. And after that, he went into intermediates and binned it then. So, yeah, that's our 2 retirements anyway. And that is it. That's the race over. And just a few more comments on the stream I shall look at just quickly before we go. But yeah, that was a decent race. Good one to
Yeah,
come back
considering
to
it's only
anyway.
10 drivers, they made
Yeah.
a good contest of it in the end. Or 11 drivers, should I say.
Yeah, Tom, I was wondering why Tom's in the Toro. So he said in the chat that he chose the wrong car. So yeah, he should have been in a Haas. He should have been in a Haas, I think, but he wasn't. And well, why is there no music playing on the podium? There's no fun if there's no music on the podium.
I've got AMK Futures second on my screen with Cliffy winning, so I'm not quite sure what's happened there.
Nah,
I'm not quite sure what's going on.
mine's alive. Mine hasn't broken. But yeah, why have we suddenly got all our viewers now? We're about to end, people. The race is over. Come on. But anyway, I think that's it then. We will end this one off now. That has been the French Grand Prix here in VSL. Some brilliant close racing. And Zenke taking the checkered flag. I've been Owen White. That's been Kyle. And we will see you next week. Safe travels.